from an undisclosed location under a farm pond somewhere in the Midwest. Your host is Jim Crowley. This is Slickfish Radio.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of Slickfish Radio, and some of you are chiming on already. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's going to be a fun night. We're going to talk to my buddy Rob Danielson from Angler Access, making some of the finest spinner baits and other fine tools of the bass fishing trade in the industry. I love the stuff that he does. And we go back a long time, and it's great to see him having so much success. Jay Babb, just hi, Jay. How you doing? John just chimed in. Hi, John. How are you? Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I'm really looking forward to talking to somebody who I love old school stuff when it comes to fishing. And one of the best old school guys out there, in my opinion, making some of the best baits out there is Rob Danielson from Angler's Access. So I'm really looking forward to talking to him. We're gonna get some stuff out of the way first. First of all, I want to thank all of you again for starting to chime in, and more of you are starting to come on. Thank you so much for doing that. Thank you to everybody at Roku and Fire TV who will be seeing this, as well as Amazon, Spotify, and iTunes. Thank you. Especially folks at Roku and Fire TV. Holy cow, our stats on that. I God bless you. Thank you all for joining us, and of course all of you on Facebook and some of you on YouTube as well. Thank you. So I want to thank our sponsors first and foremost, because hey, without them and without all of you, we wouldn't be doing this. So my friends at American Tackle Company, in a couple of weeks we're going to have Don Morris, the rod designer from American Tackle, is going to join us. Hi, Lee Kerr just joined on from Big City Fishing. Glad to see you here. Dave Schroeder, how you doing? And so Don Morris from American Tackle is going to be on in a couple of weeks. And there's going to be, obviously, iCasting's coming up. You've heard me mention that before, and we're going to be talking more and more about that as we get closer. American Tackle Company, some of you may not know this, but they're one of the only companies, or the only company out there, that's won 6 industry awards when it comes to guides. So the microwave guide system, the only guide system, all the other companies out there, nobody's won 6 industry awards, and that's worldwide. So they've won them all over the world, this country, Europe, everywhere. The microwave guide system, that's it. That's got the most awards, and it is American Tackle. They've got a lot more stuff coming out too, and so Don's going to talk about that and some other stuff in the industry, so we're excited about that. My friends at Explore Lacrosse, just got done talking to my buddy Jeremiah Burrish today. The walleye fishing right now, the water level is starting to come down. The tournaments are rescheduled for next month, in June. Some of them are. The walleye fishing right now in Lacrosse, on fire. The pan fishing right now, on fire. We're going to be going there in the next month or so. We might even be doing a walleye show there. I've always wanted to do a river walleye show up there, and for Jim Crowley Outdoors on Wire to Fish. And I think that's going to be really, really, really cool. That fishery is so diverse. Largemouth, smallmouth, walleyes, big northern pike, huge panfish. You've seen us do ice fishing shows there if you watch a show on Wire to Fish. It's just incredible stuff there. And this is a great time of year to go to Lacrosse. The land between the bluffs there is beautiful. In my opinion, it's one of the most beautiful places in the United States. So if you haven't looked at the Lacrosse region, go to explorelacrosse.com. You will be surprised. There's a lot of family fun things there. I've recently got into bike riding, and there's a lot of great bike trails and things like that in Lacrosse too. So just some things for you to think about. Speaking of bike riding, my friends at Shields, going crazy. Everything is fully packed over there at the Shields in Springfield, and that's where I got my wife and I's bikes. We got 2 Treks from there a couple months back, and I love it. I've got into biking pretty good. I think last week did about 35 miles. That's pretty cool. Pretty awesome. And I thank the folks at Shields for setting us up there, as well as having the best hunting and fishing section in the Midwest, as far as I'm concerned. Shields is a store. Their employees know what they're doing, because their employees they know their departments. That's why they're there, and that's why they're there for long periods of time. Shields knows the outdoors, and their employees know how to fit you with their right stuff. So Shields in Springfield, check them out. Our friends over at Cast King, more and more stuff coming out from Cast King. The MG12 was a huge hit over at the Classic. Big sales going on now if you go to castking.com. And of course, at the end of the show, we're going to give you a 20% discount code. So don't go buy anything just yet. Listen to the show, and then we're going to give you a discount code at the end of the show, and you can get something from Cast King. We'll give you one from American Tackle as well. And then we are powered by Dakota Lithium. Big sponsor of BASS. Dakota Lithium is putting more and more into the sport that we love, as long as with RVs and everything else. We've seen a lot of battery companies out there, and I'm sure they all have their good things. I do know one thing about Dakota Lithium: loving your warranty. You want to power your passion? Do what I did. Switch to Dakota Lithium. You will have power for everything that you do. Gary just chimed in. Hi, Jim. At Oshkosh, getting ready to fish NWT event tomorrow. Well, thanks for joining us, Gary, and all be safe out there. Wish you the best. Hope you catch the big ones tomorrow, man. I'm glad you took time. Savannah Colba Outdoors, Savannah and Jim, thanks for joining us, guys. And hey, I've done enough talking. We're going to bring in the guy that people want to see. Rob, welcome. Glad to finally have you on Slick Fish Radio. Dude, you and I have known each other, crying out loud, dude. We've known each other a long time. I'm glad we're both here, and I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, I'm glad we're still in the industry. And thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
You bet, man. Lee Curtis said the MG12 is awesome, can cast it a mile and very light. You're right, Lee, and thanks for joining us. Yeah, Rob and I have been around a long time. We knew each other actually when we were younger, and those days seemed far.
McCormick Place.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and the original good Chicago show. Right?
Yeah. When the sports shows were real, those
when they were.
You lived to get there for the one show a year.
That is it. That is for sure.
Yeah.
And you know what? And we competed against each other and would have fun back in the day. And we've known each other for a long time. And we both ended up working in this industry. And as years went by, I saw angler assets grow and grow and grow. For people who don't know about you, how did this passion of yours to not only make spinner baits, but just to make baits grow into what it is? Because make no mistake, folks, it's grown into something big. And let us know a little bit more about that, Rob.
Well, it basically started out, I lived in Northern Illinois, got into tournament fishing in the early to mid 80s and fished the chain of lakes. And we were always looking for something a little bit different to throw because the competition was so tough up there and pressure was extreme. So we started making our own spinner baits and messing around with blade combinations, and just kind of made them for ourselves for a while. And then I moved to Springfield in like about 2000. And that's kind of when I started to take it more from a hobby to a business, and just looking for different blade combinations and something that you can't go to the store and buy, typically. So that's kind of where it all started. And I started with the colored blades and double Indianas, and that's what really kind of took off because it was quite a bit different.
The Indiana blade has always been one of my favorite blades. You look even back to, all right, correct me if I'm wrong, because I think you're going to know spinnerbait history a little bit better than me, but I think it was the 89 Classic, Hank Parker one. And that was a killer spinnerbait, no doubt, back in the day. The cool thing about those Indiana blades is not only did it work in reservoir situations, but it was quite the river spinnerbait as well. And I know you and I have talked about different river type blades because we fished a lot of that back in the day. And I know for a fact, I haven't seen really anybody take the color blades to the extent that you have a combining in. And that's always curious to me. I love to know how things work. That's why I'm a tinkerer. That's why I build a lot of my own stuff. One, it gives me a lot more confidence. And two, you think, hey, maybe it's a little bit something different. What were you finding? What was your personal experience finding when you started adding color blades in?
I think a lot of it started with confidence, knowing that if you're going to follow somebody down the shoreline, like on the chain of lakes, if you're throwing something a little bit different, you got a better chance of getting a bite. So I was just adding, like, I can show you.
Please do.
One of the first things I did was, this is our chartreuse shad, and it's got a metallic green blade on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a number 3 Indiana. And that was one of the first ones that I kind of came up with down here when I moved to Springfield. And it was really good on Lake Springfield and just area lakes and lakes that are slightly stained. It just got a lot of bites. And, we just paid a lot of attention to the head design too. 3D eyes, 2, 3, 4 colors on the heads themselves. Light wire, we use 3200s wire. But it was really the Indiana, and I think when you mentioned the Hank Parker spinnerbait, that was kind of where I got hung up on Indiana blades, because I fished those things a lot when I was up in the northern Illinois area. So we just kind of started with the green blade, and then went to more painted blades. And this is even like a long time before like the Oklahoma blade they talk about, like this with the red blade in the Colorado.
There's your river special.
Yeah. And then I did a chartreuse blade with the double Indiana, and that's like one of my favorites. And that probably is one of the top sellers that we have. So
that's good. I mean, because and some people, I know this, and some people may or may not, but chartreuse can actually be a really good color in clear water, as well as stained water as well. And there's certain times of year, especially I say bright, obnoxious colors for smallmouth and really, really cold and clear water. And that's proven true with spinnerbaits over the years, where they like bright chartreuse, or they like a chartreuse and orange blade. I'm not going to pretend to know what they think, but I do know from experience that it works, and I know you do too.
Right.
When you started, one of the things I noticed that you said is you start with was it a 32 wire? Is that
3200s wire?
3200s wire. And just so you guys know out there, and this is where the geek part of me comes out, the average spinnerbait out there is 35.
Right.
And so what's gonna tell you about his is he's gonna have more vibration in that frame. And I'm sure you chose that for that, because with that lighter wire, that's actually going to showcase more of the vibration and more subtle vibrations in the blades you choose, isn't it?
Exactly. And even when a big bass will come up and eat the whole bait, the frame just collapses easier too. So and another thing that we did was, typically on a lot of spinner baits, they'll have like a 3 or 4/0 hook on them, and we upsized to a 5/0. And we had a lot of guys from Texas and that were they're like, whatever you do, don't change the hook size, because that was a big selling feature too. So it's just little things. I mean, it's a spinner bait. I didn't reinvent the wheel, but I just changed a few things that I liked, and then a bunch of other guys liked it too. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but there's plenty enough guys out there that appreciate it. So,
well, sure. And I think great products come out of necessity. One thing, if you hold that spinnerbait up, and again, I'm going to go back to the geek side of me on this. First thing I noticed, and I've been looking at Rob's baits for years. One, he's got an original head design. That's his. The other thing is, if you notice the upper part of the wire, even with that big hook, the upper part of the wire doesn't come down and cover the top of the hook.
Right.
And when you do that, you have a lot more what I call bite radius, or a bite gap in there. So you have a lot better. So you have increased vibration because of the wire that he uses. You have different color, obviously proven color combinations that work together. And then you have more accessibility to that bait because of the shortness of the upper wire. You still have the vibration, but you still have better access for the fish to get to that bait. And I don't know if Rob did it, but I still do it on baits that I make. Is that sometimes I take that hook and I bend it up just a little bit. And the reason I do that is to get a better hooking percentage on the bait. Well, sometimes if you have a shorter arm, that's not as necessary. And that's already designed into your bait. And so I've always thought that that was an excellent, like you said, you didn't reinvent the wheel, but there's always great things about tweaking things that make it not only better for you, but obviously other people are liking that too.
And I'm not a big trailer hook guy.
Me neither.
It seems like some guys are, you got to throw it all the time or not. But I have very little issues hooking fish with this spinnerbait. And it probably has to do with the size of this, the wire and the length of the hook. It's a long shaft. It's a long shank mustad. So there's
Good
quite
hook.
a bit of bite. Once in a while, I mean, if you go and get a couple fish that swipe at it and miss it, then I'll put a trailer hook on, but very, very seldom. And even trailers themselves, I very seldom put a trailer on this, either a split tail or a curly tail, very, very seldom. So
I wonder if that comes from old old school thing, because I don't like that either. I don't put a whole lot of trailers on there. I use rubber skirts once in a while in really
Right.
cold water,
Yeah.
and I like the blade to have the vibration to make the skirt move or not move. And in clear water, I like small double wool leaf blades, and the skirt doesn't do a whole lot. All I want them seeing is that silhouette. And
Right.
more stained water, then I'll use more vibrations or more colors in your blades.
Yeah.
Like you have. Matter of fact, we're gonna take a little bit of a break. When we come back, I want to delve into a couple of your other baits too, but I also want to talk a little bit more on the spinnerbait stuff as well, because that is just, you make a lot of other great baits, but that spinnerbait, that profit spinnerbait, is probably still your number one selling.
That's kind of what I pay attention to the most. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, as we always say, when we come back, we're going to talk with Rob, get a little bit more in-depth conversation on some more of his baits, and talk a little bit about spinnerbait fishing in general. And we'll be back in 2 and 2.
American Tackle is home to the award-winning microwave line control system. Rod blanks to reel seats, ferrules to finish, grips to guides. They're committed to the very best in rod building components. Find out more, americantackle.us. With fishing beyond your expectations, indoor and outdoor activities, a vast variety of places to eat, drink, and stay. Discover your next adventure between the bluffs. ExploreLaCrosse.com. Located in Springfield, Illinois' largest selection of sports and sportswear, hunting, fishing, specialty shops and services, a 65-foot Ferris wheel, 16,000-gallon saltwater aquarium, and industry-leading knowledgeable employees. You don't take chances at Shields, ever. Go to Shields.com. Achieving affordable innovation through novel concepts and in-house ingenious designs. Cascading cost-effective e-commerce practices directly market to consumers, cutting costs by 30% or more on average. Affordable innovation, superior quality. Casking.com. Believing quality is measured by lifespan and harnessing their unique chemistry and engineering know-how. Dakota Lithium lasts 4 times longer, powering your passion with an 11-year warranty. Find out more, DakotaLithium.com.
Slick Fish Radio with Jim Crowley can be seen and heard on Roku, Fire TV, Spotify, Amazon Music, and iTunes.
There we go. Come here. Get in here. Yeah. Nice fish right there. Hi, I'm Jim Crowley. Make sure you catch my show, Jim Crowley Outdoors, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, exclusively on Wired to Fish TV. Look for Jim Crowley Outdoors on Wired to Fish TV on free ad-supported streaming TV, including Plex, that can be downloaded in the App Store at Apple TV, Roku, Samsung, and others. We are back with Rob Danielson from Angler Assets. Rob, what has been one of the I know you usually come up with some new colors every year. What has been the hot one? In my opinion, this has been a good spinnerbait year. It's been a good spinnerbait. It's been a good bladed jig year, because everything's a little bit later. Right. And the longer that cold water stays around the spring, that's better for us guys who like to fish that thing.
And if it rains a lot too.
Yeah, we like that. We like that high muddy water.
You can see sales like at Tackle Warehouse go crazy. Like if it's raining all over the country, our Fire Tiger is going crazy. Yeah. And then our Hot Chartreuse too. I mean, those are our 2 good muddy water colors. So yeah, you can definitely tell by the what's going on during the season. Yeah,
whenever it lasts longer like that and the water starts rising, spinnerbait guys get all excited about that kind of stuff.
And I mean, honestly, I'm not crazy about colors. You know, I try to keep it a little simple. Mm-hmm. Some companies have 50 different spinnerbait colors. Well, I feel that just blows the fisherman's mind. So it's kind of like I've got, 14, 16, certain proven colors, and they seem to get bit everywhere. So I don't make it too crazy for you to pick colors,
If somebody's going to Angler Assets for the first time and looking at your baits, and you would say, hey, if you haven't tried our baits before, here's a couple ones that I know that I'm pretty sure that you're going to get bit on. What would you, for the profit spinnerbait, what would you tell them? Hey, here's 1 or 2 that you can try.
Well, first of all, I want to express I do not have a website. My main way that I sell these is basically through Tackle Warehouse and Shields, and Bedford Sales has them.
Okay.
So I'm growing the company to the point where I can expand and hit everybody, at retail,
Sure.
stores, basically. So I just wanted to get that out there. Tackle Warehouse is the biggest deal. But as far as a color that I recommend everybody, I always say that metallic green blade, that chartreuse shad, as long as there's a little bit of color in the water, the skirt's got chartreuse, it's got kind of a crystal green, and then a bait fish back, and there's chartreuse on the bottom of the head. So that's a good starting point. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. Muddy water, I'd go right to this, our Mississippi Special. It's kind of like the old Oklahoma, secret spinnerbait.
Sure.
That's the one Brock Mosley wanted to build. We just increased the size to a number 3 Colorado here and a number 6 Colorado for the gold-plated blade.
That's a thumper.
But that's a good one, and you work it slow. It's great this time of year. And then another one that is surprising is our bloody green shad, and that's like the green shad, but it's got a metallic red blade on it.
Neat.
And that thing is crazy, and it's got like a bloody skirt in it too.
Yeah, that one was at Shields for the Fish Fest, wasn't it? Because
it's been there since the beginning.
Yeah, because I remember one of your pro staffers, Nathan Riley, was showing that spinnerbait a lot out there, and you guys moved a lot of baits.
Nathan's a good dude. He's a good guy, and he's caught a lot of fish.
He's won some good money. That young man
on the half-ounce hot chartreuse. Yeah, I mean that's kind of a really good bait for the area. And then we have our pearl bait fish, which is a painted pearl blade and nickel Indiana. And that's really good, whenever the bait fish are up shallow and on riprap or laydowns, whatever. So I kind of got it all, all covered with the colors and not too mind-blowing.
Well, Jay Baffett just commented. He said, I wore that Angler Assets Mississippi River Special half-ounce spinnerbait out a couple weeks ago on the Arkansas River. Well, there you go.
I think that was the Bass National deal, the Federation deal.
Yeah, so that's really cool. And Jay is a great guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah. So hey, as we're rounding out or winding down here, talk about a couple of your other baits, because you make a couple of really good jigs. I like that hybrid jig of yours.
Yeah, I'll show you.
What are a couple other products?
The hybrid jig. It's a head design that I designed, and it's basically a bullet head. It's got a flat bottom on it, and the line tie is recessed. Okay, and it's got a Mustad Megabite hook. And years ago, I forgot the company, Picasso. They had a jig out that had that Megabite hook in it, and I fell in love with it. And then it was kind of hard to get. So when I designed this jig, that's the hook I put into it. And this hook is unbelievable. And a lot of guys don't fish it, but when they get stuck, they stay stuck. And it's great. You can swim it. You can do anything with this, basically. And the wire is kind of a medium to a heavy wire, so you don't really bend it out too bad. And then I've got an Arky style, because some guys, this wasn't their cup of tea. They wanted more of a traditional jig.
Always works. So
we just went with the standard Arky head, but upsized the hook. So that's a 3/8, but it's got a 5/0 Mustad in it. And then the half-ounce has a 6/0 in it. So there again, I didn't reinvent the wheel. I just changed a few things for what I liked. So that's one of our best-selling colors too.
What I like about that hybrid jig is you made a comment there, and you said that it's not the real heaviest wire. And what some guys don't, I don't, when it comes to worm fishing, I don't use a real heavy wire hook. And that may sound strange to some guys, but that medium wire in the middle there, whatever brand hook you use, that has a tendency to penetrate better,
right?
With less effort. So even if you blow the hook set sometimes, that medium wire, and what he's got in that jig right there, there's no wonder that works, and that is big enough. but it will also penetrate quicker. And I bet you found the same thing.
Yeah, when we're at Shields at Fish Fest and that, and we
Yep.
have people coming up and pond fishermen or parents with their kids, I always recommend this jig because you can do so much with it. And like you said, you're gonna penetrate, you're gonna get a good hook set on it, and you're not gonna lose very many fish on this thing. So it's a great, for lack of a better term, it's a great beginner's jig, basically. You can do so much with it, and they're not gonna throw it. And they don't have to, cross the eyes like they do on, like a big RP, So
yeah, you could get away with that jig on 14-pound line if you had
exactly.
to,
And when I fished a lot of lighter line up in northern Illinois just because of the pressured bite situation. And then when I came down here is when I got into a little bit heavier line, slightly bigger fish. And but I've never had a real strong hook set. So I think that's why I kind of favored those hybrid jigs and that. And some of the guys I fished with and my team partners, they set the hook like crazy. So my hook sets got a little bit stronger throughout the years, but I love that hybrid jig.
Great. Just to let people know where you can find them. Obviously, you can find them in Tackle Warehouse. Hey, one of our favorite stores in the entire planet, Shields, carries a real wide selection.
Yeah, Shields has got pretty much everything. The Springfield Shields, and hopefully next year we'll see them in other Shields stores across the country. Good. That's one of the things I've been working on this whole year is to build up a system to not get backlogged with when it comes to stocking, because it's a tough business. It seems like if one thing is back ordered, COVID was a train wreck, but coming out of COVID, it was still, you have issues, and back orders on stuff, and it's tough. So that's what I've been working on this year. So
Gen Wong
better next year.
Gen Wong from Florida. Hi, Gen. How you doing, buddy? He said, interesting baits. Going to have to look into these. Again, I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. You will not be.
And for our local guys in Central Illinois and that, check out Bedford Sales. They've got the spinnerbaits and the jigs there.
And Bedford has got a great, just another great place. Just for anglers. We're lucky in Illinois right here. You've got Shields, you've got Bedford, you've got some really good places that have quality gear, and these people fish. They understand anglers, and they carry top quality products just like Angler Assets. So,
that's what I like, is having them in stores where the salespeople know what the heck is going on. And Shields is by far
the best.
Yeah. Those guys know what they're doing.
So where else, Rob, before we let you go, where else can people find out a little bit more? Where can they see more of your stuff?
Well, I'm on Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff. I'm pretty active on that. And Tackle Warehouse is always reordering, and I'm always shipping out to them for the spinnerbaits and stuff. And possibly next year they'll have my jigs. But right now it's just the spinnerbaits and that. So they've been really good to me the last few years. And Shields, Bluff City down in Alton's got my stuff too. So
there you go, folks. We got a full line of there. And I'm telling you, I've known Rob for years. I know the quality guy he is. I know the quality stuff that he puts out there. The baits just flat out work. He uses great components, and he does a great job. He's got his heart and soul into it, and that's why his business has been so successful. So, folks, hang on for just a little bit. My friend, I'm glad we finally had John.
I appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity.
Oh, and great to see your stuff. Great to see it keep growing.
And thank you to all the guys that are out there fishing my stuff, and I hope a few guys get turned on to them from tonight. So
I think we will. Well, God bless you, my friend. We'll talk to you soon.
Have a great night. Thank you.
What a great guy. I've known Rob for years, 4 years. Ray Larson and Ray, sorry I didn't get to see you before, but great show. Glad you tuned in. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Before we leave tonight, a couple things I want to show you. It is that time of year. Let me go back to banners here. Where are we at here? Looking through the stuff here. Okay. Here we go. I want to let you guys know this. It is that time of year. We're about halfway through the season filming shows for Wired to Fish TV. So hopefully some of you have, it's real easy. If you go to our new webpage, just jimcrawleyoutdoors.com, you can actually click on the Plex link on the page there. And every day at 4 o'clock, you can see the show. But Plex is free to get on. We also just got on Fubo. I think there's like 10 stations right now that Wired to Fish TV is on, but Plex is free and it's easy. But if you go to the webpage at jimcrawleyoutdoors.com, you can see basically how to sign up for Plex, which is free. You can just download the app. Okay, but we're on every day at 4:00. And so what I was going to tell you is, since we are halfway through the season, my boat's going to be going up for sale. And this is it right here. So I thought I'd show it to you. If you know anybody who's interested, or if you're interested, this is a 2022 Miracraft 1771. It's got a 115 Merc on the back of it. It's loaded. You don't see it on the boat here, but I added a trick step to it. It also has the self-deploying Minn Kota trolling motor on there. Tons. It's got a 8.5 foot rod locker. This boat is loaded and garage kept with low hours compared to, but it's a program boat, so you're going to get it a lot cheaper than if you were going to try to buy a new one. And so if you are interested in that at all, don't comment on the page here. If you are interested in learning more about my program boat that is for sale, just message me. You can message me directly on Facebook, just at Jim Crowley Outdoors or Jim Crowley, or you can email me at Jim Crowley or Jim at jimcrawleyoutdoors.com. Either way, if you know anybody or if you are interested, please let me know, because it will be ready to go to a new home September 1st. So if you know anybody or you want to come see it, now would be the time to do it. And it's going to be one heck of a deal to somebody. I would gather to say probably about $8,000 under retail, maybe a little more. So if you are interested in a wonderful functioning, I'm just getting the same boat next time. This is the third time I've had a 1771. I absolutely love them. Great multi-species boat, but an incredible bass boat as well. But if you know anybody, there you go. That's that. Like I said, just message me. So we are going to also give you some codes, my friends at American Tackle. If you are interested in 20% off, go to American Tackle and go to AmericanTackleAnglerProducts.com. You can put in the code JCO20 and you will get 20% off anything on the site. And they've got some pretty cool stuff on there. So check out American Tackle Angler Products. They're also looking for pro staff. So if any of you are willing to put in the work, and it's work, if you're interested in doing that, you can apply at American Tackle there, because they are taking applications right now. So if you're interested in getting in the industry and knowing a little bit more about the work that it takes, American Tackle might be a good company for you to start with, because they have a lot of great stuff. Now, another company that is offering a great discount, our friends at Casking. My goodness, even a couple people commented tonight about, I think Lee did, about the new MG12 and other reels. And all the reels that I use. And we're going to be taking reels for saltwater shows this year, complete from ultralight all the way up to fishing for big pike, redfish, you name it. If it comes to fishing, Casking has a reel and a rod for it. If you want to check out them and you want 20% off anything there at Casking, you can put in the code, JC52AFF, and then you will be able to get that. So, and thanks to our friends at Casking for that. So, couple weeks, tell you guys real quick. Next week, I will be up at Mille Lacs. So look for stuff on the Jim Crowley Outdoors page. We are probably going to have some special guests while we're there at Mille Lacs. We're hopefully going to be catching a bunch of big smallmouth and having some fun. We are going to be doing updates from there, where we're going to be at, and we're going to be filming a couple shows up there. Anybody in the Minnesota area, you may see us up there. We're going to be staying at Red Door, and we always have a great time up there in the Mille Lacs area. Great people, a lot of great fun, great place to stay, and we are looking forward to it, because my favorite thing in the world is catching smallmouth bass, and I can't wait to be up in Mille Lacs next week. So we're going to have a great time doing that. So until next time, we're going to have some after that. I'll be making announcements on some new guests that are coming up. We've got some really good ones slated for the future. I thank all of you for always tuning in to Slickfish Radio. And again, thank you to all our friends at Roku, Fire TV, Amazon Music, iTunes, and Spotify. And those of you on Facebook, if you like this, please continue to share. You want to find out more about both shows that I'm involved with, Jim Crowley Outdoors and Wired to Fish TV, as well as Slickfish Radio, please just go to jimcrawleyoutdoors.com for our new website, and you can find out anything and everything. I wouldn't have the shows if it wasn't for all of you. I'm truly blessed by all of you watching, and continue to do so. And thank you for all of that. Until next time, all of you have a great rest of the week. We'll see you next time. God bless you. Be safe. Have some fun. Go fishing.